Please, may I have a roll call?
Mayor Kukta,
Here.
Ms. Darrow,
Here.
Mr. Long,
Present.
Mr. Westbrooks,
Here.
Mr. Morris is absent.
All right, we have some minutes to be approved. The approval of the July 8th, 2013 minutes of the Planning Commission. Do I have any additions, deletions, or do I have a motion to accept?
Motion to approve is submitted.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain. Approval of the July 22nd, 2013 minutes of the Planning Commission. Do we have any additions, deletions? Do I have a motion to accept?
Make a motion to accept?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, next, we're gonna start tonight with the proposed existing wall sign at Batteries Plus. Hi, come on down, let's talk a little bit.
Mr. Mayor, Council, Richard Stump on behalf of Agnew Sign Company.
All right, we're gonna start off by having, the minutes or the notations from the planner read. So Kayla, could you do that for us,
Yep.
please?
Batteries Plus is requesting to alter their wall signage on their tenant space located in the Pelican Park Plaza. The proposed wall sign will reflect their current business offering, which includes bulbs. The proposed signage will now state batteries and bulbs, and the overall area of the signage will not increase. Moreover, the color of the signage will remain the same, which was approved in 2007. The tenant space, retail space number 9, is the corner unit located on the western end of the building. The unit has 2 building facades, one facing Route 82 and one facing I-271. The Planning Commission approved the original signage plan for Pelican Park in December 2005, which requires individually raised letters for wall signage. Both of the proposed signs comply with the signage plan. Based on the fact that the overall area of the sign is not increasing and the color of the sign complies with the approved sign plan for Pelican Park, I believe the proposal can be approved as submitted.
Are there any other comments, questions? Good?
Nope.
Kevin?
Is
Anything?
it this version of just changing the name? Is that the whole
Exactly.
company wide?
Exactly. Company-wide, what they're doing is, people think they're just stuck at batteries when they have more things involved, so they changed from Batteries Plus to batteries with the plus sign and now bulbs. So they're going more into the lamps and things like that, so they're just reaching out, corporate going across, changing it to batteries plus bulbs. The sizes all staying the same. All we're gonna plan on doing is pulling off the PLUS letters and the plus sign, moving the plus sign in, adding the BULB, and leaving it right on the same raceway and wiring it right back up.
All right. Any other comments, questions, motions?
Motion approved.
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I think you got it,
Thank
just
you.
like that.
Well,
And good luck.
Thank you.
You guys do a nice job.
Thank
We're
you.
grateful you're there.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Have a great night all. Thank
All
you for
right,
coming in.
see you. All right, next is going to be the proposed sign at Reliable Snow Plowing. Do we have anyone here from that?
I don't see anybody, Mayor. Do you want to move it to the end?
Okay, moving on to proposed dynamic display sign at United Methodist Church. Yes, sir. Come on down, have a seat. All right, your name?
Kent Shelco.
Okay, so that's,
I'm not on there.
yeah, that's somebody else. Do you have a card, Ken? Or anything?
Yes, I
that-
do.
Okay. Can we have it? Okay, very good.
These are different. This is,
Yeah, I was gonna give it to her.
that's
but-
for work.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Okay, Kent, we've got some comments from our planner, so Kayla, could you please read those?
The applicant is requesting to construct a ground monument sign located at 1280 East Aurora Road. The proposed sign area is 50 square feet total and approximately 8 feet tall. Included in the total sign area is an electronic message center. The property is located in the R1 Residence District. I have reviewed a conceptual sign illustration in connection with this request and offer the following comments for Planning Commission consideration. Section 1179.03F of the Macedonia Planning and Zoning Code permits a freestanding sign in a residential zoning district with a maximum of 20 square feet of sign area. Additionally, section 1179.09 regulates dynamic displays, and specifically 1179.09B1 states that dynamic displays are not permitted in residentially zoned districts of the city. Based on the above, the proposal cannot be approved at this time because the area of the size exceeds the limitations of the code and because dynamic displays are not permitted in residential zoning districts. To construct the sign as proposed, the applicant will need to seek a variance from the Board of Zoning Appeals for the additional sign area and to permit a dynamic display in a residential zoning district.
So we're done. for tonight.
Okay.
All right. If the BZA approves it, which I doubt, only from past experience, Kent, we had another church come in a residential area, and they weren't allowed to put the sign there. But it was a different type of setup where they are, the road's dark, the sign could have been a distraction, whereas where you're going, it's not like that. But I wouldn't get my hopes up too much to get anything there with the electronic display. Council has very strong feelings about electronic displays.
So is it the size or the electronic? Because it's actually, we
Both.
match the size of the sign that's existing.
Okay,
So we're not growing the sign, we're not doing anything but updating
well,
the sign.
that's interesting. So I think you can get around it that way, Dennis,
Yeah, I think,
since it's just
BZA might be
replacing.
more.
Yeah.
We wanted
So
to-
the BZA will be good with that. The problem you're gonna have is with the electronic.
Okay.
Now, council has very strong feelings on that. There's a mandate on any further electronic signs being elected in the business district. All right, this is in the residential, so that mandate doesn't really cover it, but that shows you how careful we wanna be with electronic signs, so that could be a problem. So I'm just trying to tell you this to give you a little heads up what to expect. But you need to go to the BZA next. We can't give you the approval that
Okay.
you need, and you're here for it tonight until you go to them.
Okay. And that process is,
You just talk to Caitlin.
I can email
Yeah,
you the
she'll help you.
application.
okay.
She's got your addresses and email on that.
On the card, there's
Yeah.
an email.
Cool.
Send it to.
She'll send it to that, and then that'll give you the steps to go before the BZA.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right, thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming down. All right.
Okay, here's the. Mayor, do you wanna make a motion to table that?
The sign,
Yeah.
every reliable snow plowing.
No, the, United Methodist until they have BZ approval or?
Do I have a motion to table?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's official.
Oh, no, you don't have to, I'm sorry. Thank you.
All right,
There you go, Mr. Mayor.
next we have the proposed retail center.
Okay,
They're not here yet.
and then the other people aren't here yet, right, for the,
No.
I don't know if Reliable will come.
Well, I don't know if they will either, so, that's pretty much basic 1, 2, 3. In fact, some of these signs, I really question why we have to take up time to discuss them unless it's an incident like that one in a residential.
right,
I mean, does anybody on the planning commission have thoughts about just moving ahead with that?
yeah, 'cause it's on Highland Point Parkway, right?
It's on Highland Point, size is okay,
yeah, the total size is 33.67 square feet.
and 50's allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can do it.
How about you? You good?
Not at all, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so, we have, if you will just please enter into the minutes the planner's, description, and then that way you don't have to read them.
Do
All
you
right,
want her to read it?
and we have, do we have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, do you want her to read it, though, just so we have it on the record? Or no?
she can read it. I just asked her to put it in the minutes
I know.
because I care about her voice. She's such a nice gal.
Thanks.
Constantly reading, but the most important thing is the size is right. There's nothing wrong
Right.
with what's going on this, on the recommendation of the planner. So in the effective time, we can just move forward and she can put it right in the minutes. Okay? All right, so now we're gonna go to.
We need a motion first, Mayor, sorry.
Oh, yes, I asked for a motion, never got it. Do I have a motion?
Motion approved.
Second,
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that takes care of that. So, the next one is, the site plan for the proposed retail center. I just have one comment to make on that, and I'll be, leaving the room as, required by law. But, we have some, notes from the planner. And the notes from the planner, correct me if I'm wrong, are for when this project first came before the planning commission. So all the things that were specified in there by the planner have been addressed. So this is not for tonight, it's for the last time.
Right.
So instead of reading those again, because everything in there has been taken care of, perhaps you can just put that into the minutes and we'll move forward.
Okay.
All right, can you please note in the minutes that I'm leaving the room? And that, Mister, would you like to be
Yes.
in charge? Okay, and Rita will be in charge.
at this time, I guess we'll, ask for, Lance Osborne to come on up. Just have a seat.
Hello.
Hi,
Good
Lance.
evening.
How are you?
I'm good. How is everybody?
Good.
Good.
I was just reading something about them. I had to go with those things. Forgot what I was reading.
Lance, do you want hard copies of the comments, or did you bring?
No, it's okay. I have. Thank you.
All right, this is a request for site plan approval for proposed retail center. Lance Osborne with Osborne Property Services LLC is requesting a final site plan approval for a proposed retail center to be located at 463 East Aurora Road. And Kayla, you, as you said, stated, there is nothing to add to this, but the setbacks, correct?
He was approved by the BZA for setbacks last week. So the
Okay.
parking setbacks were taken care of. I think Donnie had some comments, and I do have comments from Nick.
Okay, if you want to read those.
Nick's comments say, I reviewed the submitted plan on the August 12th Planning Commission agenda and offer the following. The engineering plans must include the following items. Number one, stormwater management facility design shall be in accordance with Macedonia Codified Ordinance and Summit County Engineers Stormwater Management Manual. Based upon conceptual layout, it appears that underground detention system will be required. Number two, stormwater quality must be provided for the proposed improvements. Number three, post-construction as-built LTMA and operation and maintenance manual will be required for stormwater management facilities. Number four, proposed grading, utility, and lighting plans will be required. Site plan approval is hereby recommended with the understanding that engineering improvement plans will be handled administratively.
Comments that I have is the drive behind the building doesn't meet with requirements for fire department access, and this will also have to be declared a fire lane behind the building. One of the concerns is you show those dumpsters parallel with the building, and I don't believe that the service people dumping those will be able to pick those up and dump them and put them back, that they'll be on an angle, which will restrict that 13 feet or the 12 feet.
There's a 12 feet of clear between the dumpster enclosure. The city, at the last planning commission, had a recommendation that we add dumpster enclosures to the plan, which we've done. We have this at a shopping center in Willoughby, where it's actually even a smaller rear drive, and the dumpsters are on wheels the driver wheels it out
Oh,
and dumps it.
I'm concerned with being able to get, you're gonna have deliveries back there, plus I'm gonna need to get a fire truck through there.
Right, so we'll add a no parking signs for the
Right.
fire lane.
But I'm gonna need more than that 12 foot of clear space,
How much do you need?
minimum of 14.
14.
And the hydrants in the front on 82, are requesting that that entrance on the front, that hydrant's about 111 feet from the corner approximately. On 82, it's not showed on
Oh, it's
this.
not shown on the survey?
No, I went down and measured them.
Okay.
I would prefer that entrance to be west of that hydrant because of the fencing, and being able to hook a fire hose to that hydrant and drive in that entrance in order to have firefighting operations.
So the hydrant's somewhere in this location?
There's one on 82 that's about 111 feet from the corner of Fair Lane down to the position of the hydrant, but you don't reference any dimensions on it or show that hydrant on that plan.
So is it west of the driveway, the?
I don't know where it's gonna be. I don't know where
Okay,
they're,
yeah, you couldn't,
I don't know where they're putting your entrance.
okay.
But I
Okay.
would prefer that to be west of that hydrant, because we'll be approaching it going west, and we will stop at the hydrant to hook the fire hose, and then drive in through that entrance, so that we'll have a water supply
Okay.
for firefighting operations. So I don't know where that,
Yeah, where it lays out on the plan.
where you plotted that entrance. Out here somewhere, just at the corner of the street. That's an approximate.
Should be one right there.
This is old BZA change, didn't eliminate a space here.
Good scale.
Yeah.
You want my drawings?
Yes, this is the updated drawing that you just got today.
Yeah,
Changes from
I just
BZA.
kinda stood out here.
Yeah, hold the edge of the page. Yeah,
Yeah, I
okay.
just stood out here and then just shot it down to the
You said
hydrant.
111?
Yeah.
I didn't get
And
one,
this one
that's
from
only
here
one I have
down
in the packet
is,
one. Where's the stuff we gave
213
today?
feet.
No, this is the main.
So you prefer,
There's 2 forms, it puts it about right in there.
Thanks. Sorry, Lenny.
that's all right. So the preference is to have the driveway west of the hydrant. Did I hear that correctly?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
And it very well could be based on what you submitted here, based on that scale,
Right,
but you don't show the, you don't show that.
because that distance is about 80 feet if you take the scale of the parking spaces. So it's gonna be close.
Is that the only hydrant on that block?
Pardon me?
Is that the only hydrant on that block? Is that?
There's one going north on Fair Lane there. It's about 213 feet north of 82. And there's one over in the corner of South Farm,
Oh, okay.
depending on where that property line is at there. There's one in the corner.
So what all did you get from the BZA? You said setbacks?
Setback variances, front and side yard.
Okay, so you'll still need drive-through variance? You see that in that comments?
I saw a comment about that. That's the first I've heard of that.
Restaurants, B1, drive-throughs are not permitted, or conditionally permitted. You have to have a BZA approval for that.
And one of the concerns at our last planning commission meeting was the appearance of the building and making these larger, which we've done.
Right. Yeah, the building looks beautiful.
Dennis, do you have anything on the building?
The only
So,
comment I have is where you have the two main retailers there.
This one?
Yes, mhm.
Yeah.
The inner columns, right by yeah, make those brick all the way up, just like the ones are that are on the end.
That's fine.
There's just a little too much ephes there I think
Okay.
that'll make it a lot better.
Okay. We can do that.
Kevin, I kind of misunderstood what you were talking about just now. What are you talking about?
in the comments here, on the first page of Brian's comments, under analysis, use.
That's not the TMZ. This
Right.
is- Okay,
Right.
all right, the analysis?
Towards the body, it's talking about restaurants and food sales are permitted by right in the B1 district, but drive-through windows are not permitted or conditionally
It-
permitted. Is that-
It doesn't really say that in the code. It says, it goes through restaurants and things like that, and it's excluding drive-in restaurants. It's excluding drive-ins. And then when you go into B2, then it says drive-in restaurants, and in B3, drive-in restaurants. So I think it was a drive-in, not a drive-through window, yeah, because we went through the same discussion on the semantics of this with Dunkin' Donuts, I think.
Okay, so you don't think that's the
Yeah, I don't think
requirement?
that's
Right,
it,
so
right.
we're taking, okay.
Okay. Great.
I was kind of confused. I'm like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, when you read the code, it kind of goes, what?
All right, thanks for clearing that up, Donna. So that's okay, he doesn't have to do that, right?
Right.
I guess what is proposed with the fence? I think there was a question on that too, is what do you,
We have the front yard basically fenced, and then the recommendation from BZA last week was to add a fence here, so you can distinguish between the cars that are parked and the car that's coming out of Fairway.
okay. And what's that makeup gonna be? What's it, does it look like, it's gonna look like next door?
But it should look like next door, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Did you look at this traffic study, Kevin?
Yeah, I skimmed it real quick.
PM peak hour is expected to have an insignificant impact on new state route 8.
Yeah, when I asked for the traffic study, that's, that's a piece of it, is, capacity, is the intersection gonna be able to operate, how much it's gonna generate, and yeah, it's generating a whole lot, which is part of the reason I was thinking you don't need two driveways when one of them is close to an intersection. 77 vehicles could certainly manage, I think, out of one driveway.
Well, the one that was close to the intersection should have never been put in there.
And so I guess as Mike, or as your traffic engineer finishes up his study, ask him to, what I was thinking more is addressing the safety and of the driveway that's close, that's on 82, and to show the need for it.
Is there a lot of accidents there now? At those two?
I don't have the stats on that. I don't know if there is. I mean, that's something you could look into. You could ask the city, has there been?
He's completing a full study, I just wanted to get the commission something.
Yeah.
So, showing that it doesn't degrade the intersection. He said that geometrics and everything associated with the right in, right out,
Mhm.
meet, the standards.
Yeah, the layout of it is fine. I mean, and you guys have made a little improvement to it. You sharpened up the island that's sitting in there to kind of, I mean, if people really want to make a left out or make a left in, they're going to do it. The way these things are designed, you can't completely prohibit physically people from doing it. They could, especially sitting on 5 lanes, they could definitely pull that, but this is about the best you can do. It's more the location and, having one that close to a major intersection, knowing that people are gonna wanna take a turn out of there and dive for the left turn lane to head south on Route 8 is a big concern. Having cars coming out into a right turn lane, that's going the whole length of your property. I've seen and experienced myself, people think you're turning either right into Fairlane or the gas station itself when you're coming down that right turn lane when you're really headed for Route 8, and to have a concentrated driveway there, I really don't think it's a good idea. So that was, I was hoping to see, you can do analysis of that driveway, it's gonna come out fine. You can do analysis over on Fairlane, it's gonna come out fine. You can do analysis at Fairlane and 82, it's gonna come out fine. Done enough of these when you're only putting that much traffic in, it's gonna say the level of service is fine. But it's more the safety impacts of a left turn vehicle, and to allow something that I think is not safe, I would want to see a need for it. This intersection is gonna fail if I don't have a second outlet. We can't process all the traffic over on Fairlane without a driveway over here, is what I'd like to see. I mean, I'd be willing to accept a right in because you're not causing any danger of people being confused or with somebody diving across a bunch of lanes to try and get. I mean, I see people come out of the gas station and go to Best Buy, and they're diving across all 5 lanes. It's just not a great spot for a driveway. I mean, Pelican Park, which is it, do you know how that compares size-wise to this?
I do not.
Okay. They've got similar driveways, but they're coming up on an intersection, but they're not in the turn lane. You can't, they're not up against one of the, probably the busiest intersection in the city. There's just a lot of traffic going through there, a lot of through traffic, a lot of left turn traffic, and for cars to dive across all those lanes, I just think it's not real safe.
Yeah, but people have been doing it all this time with the gas station there, so I don't,
And I
I can't see that why it would be
maybe
burden on him.
if he looks and there hasn't been much of a crash problem, and he may have already looked at crashes there, if not.
Yeah, but your major concern is the fact that right turn lane is carried through Fairlane.
Yeah.
Why can't we shorten that up and give it like a 250-foot right turn lane once they get past Fairlane?
Could possibly do
Not
something
that
like
that's gonna
that.
stop,
I
but
don't
at
know if
least
there's-
it lets people know, that,
Yeah.
that's just a striping issue.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's any issues to, when that turn lane was put in, what, federal project
why?
and federal dollars, and if you're shortening it up or you're
Yeah.
screwing with the capacity there. I don't know if there's anything to that. But probably
We
not
need
as-
it from a flow standpoint with our tenants, I can tell you that right now.
What do you mean?
I mean, our tenants want it, want their right in, right out. And it may jeopardize
No,
two
because they'll still
very,
be-
no, it'll jeopardize 2 very good tenants that are interested in the project, but if we're not allowed, a configuration similar to that,
You're not talking about the configuration, are you?
Well, I
Talking
think
about
eliminating the right turn out is what.
The right turn out?
I think that's the danger. Well, if that move wasn't there, the confusion of someone thinking that you're gonna turn in somewhere that you're not is not a problem anymore. If no one's it's the people coming out that's the problem. Now, if the turn lane wasn't there, maybe that would make it less confusing. You getting what I'm saying, Bill? There's
Well,
a couple
they're gonna-
problems.
They
Yeah,
have
but
it as
when they
double
come out of
double
there, they're
turn
gonna turn, all they're gonna do is turn right,
Yeah.
and they know that when they come
Yeah.
out.
But they're not just gonna do, they're gonna come out of there and they're gonna dive for the left turn lane.
That's what
to head
happens
south.
over by
Gates.
Dunkin'
Yeah,
Donuts
but I
and over by
can't,
Walmart.
yeah, I understand that, but that's, like I say, only reason they don't do it at Pelican Park is because you've got,
I know.
barriers up there.
And that's.
When those barriers are gone, they're gonna be kinda sneaking over to 271, north.
I know, that's not something you want.
All
That's,
right.
that's what access
I see.
management is all about. That's why you don't give 5
So you're
driveways to somebody, because it's not
Basically
safe.
saying most drivers are pretty stupid.
Yes, and you have to design around that. I mean, this is what I do for a living.
Oh, I
so
know.
I know this kind of stuff.
And you see it every day. The thing is, what else can you do there? I mean, you're gonna have them come out on Franklin?
Yeah. I mean,
Fairlane.
we're talking
Or
about.
Fairlane?
Fairlane.
Why do I
We're talking
say
about, we're talking about right turns. The difficult move is a left turn. Coming out of Fairlane, thanks.
I got you.
Coming out of Fairlane, taking a left is gonna be a pain in the butt. It is.
Oh, absolutely.
It is today,
It
it's
is
gonna be
now,
for those
right.
people. Having this driveway is not gonna make that any easier, because you're not letting lefts out there as it is. The right turns are pretty easy to come out there, they're probably not too bad to come out of Fairlane, it's gonna be just as difficult coming out for the right turns.
What if we extend, what if you can extend that right turn, out, okay,
Mhm.
actually into a lane? You know, don't cut this lane off, but take, I don't know, maybe cut this,
You know, like a curve. He's what he's saying, just have a curve where it curves over like that, you know what I'm saying? That's what he's trying to say, put a curve
just,
there.
yeah, put
You
something
put a curve
against the,
there,
you've got the curve
so they-
running through the basin.
so they can't. That's what he's saying.
And then just extend from the
Yeah.
island, extend the curb out past the, you know, or however many
Did you
feet.
ever see that where they have the curve, you know, where it's slanted like that, so they
Just
can't,
open
they
this up
can't
here?
make a left, no, you know, like it
I'm
curves,
not worried about
and then they
breaking.
can't make a left.
I'm not necessarily worried about making the left.
Well, no, I was talking about opening up this because I would run that.
But then you're gonna lock them into only making a right turn.
Well, that's the whole idea.
Well, that's what you
I
want.
thought.
Let me
It's-
finish. No, you wanna force them all to make a right and head up
Well,
Route
that
8
would.
north.
See, if you put the curve in here.
Would you listen?
Uh-huh.
Go ahead.
You don't wanna force them, if what you're talking about, Rita, is if you're gonna put a curb all the way down there, you wanna force them to all have to take a right onto Route 8?
Yeah, sooner or later, they're gonna have to get over here.
They have to be
Yeah.
able to, they have to allow them to get over, and that's when, as soon
Well, I
as that
wasn't
curb
going that
ends,
far with it. I
Yeah,
was only
sure.
going past the.
Yeah,
as soon as
we're
that
only-
curb ends, that's when they dive
Yeah.
across 3 more.
So they're gonna
lanes.
dive across no matter what.
Yeah,
If you come out that.
when
It's-
I
it's-
come out of there, I dive over, so I'm gonna be honest with you, but I look where I'm going
I mean,
and
if
make
there's
sure
not a
there's no
problem
traffic.
now, it's probably not gonna get any worse. So, I mean, if they could look into traffic crashes,
Right.
you know, has there been a lot of reported crashes that having no rights out there would fix? If there haven't been many, maybe that's not a problem. Maybe I'm imagining this and I see close calls, but they're
Probably
just,
is.
close calls are close calls, they're not
Oh, yeah.
crashes. There's a difference.
We have crashes in every intersection in the
Yeah, I
city.
know, I mean, that's,
If, you know, the driveway over on the side can't process all the traffic, then there has to be another outlet. If Mike wants to call me, I can discuss, I talk to Mike all the time.
Right.
I'm not demanding this has to be closed. I just like the safety of this thing to be looked into a little more.
He'll look into it.
Is there any benefit, I mean, is the location, you don't wanna have this too close to Fairlane, but you know, any distance that it could move to the east may help with the safety, give you more room to make that dive across to the left turn lane. You know, is there any benefit to that? He could possibly weigh in on that. You know, maybe, you know, the most we could move it is 50 feet, that's not gonna make a difference. You know, it's safer here than it is over closer to Fairlane. I mean, I'm open to listen to anything he's got to say.
Do you want us to have Mike work that out with the city
Yeah.
engineer?
yeah, from
That would
there
be,
to there
that
to
would
Route
be
8.
fine, I mean,
Or how can we figure that out? Where's this, 20 feet?
Distance on the, what's openings?
They're 8 feet. 14.
Yeah. You got, say 20 of them. So it's 160 feet.
I mean, I'm okay with,
Probably 200
That
feet.
still gives them enough time to get over and enough time to get over if they're gonna go up Route 8, get into the left turn lane to go up Route 8. So I'm just trying to figure out what the distance is.
Well, we have, I think Kevin's saying move this a little farther to the east.
if it, you know,
If
if there's
it's
any
feasible.
benefit, if it's feasible,
Might not
and
be.
if, you know, if his engineers think it's any benefit to
Now
it.
you're giving them more time to at least get over there.
Right,
If we're
it's an
talking.
idea, I don't,
Yeah.
I mean, I would be okay with
But then will that
The
take,
site plan
that
in
won't take
general,
away from your parking either,
if,
right?
you know, I can express
No, use that.
my concerns,
Right.
you know,
Just
in a
have
phone
it
call
right
to the
here.
city engineer,
Okay,
because
I
I'm not the city's traffic guy. They've
Right.
got their own engineer. I can let them know what my concerns are, and I'm okay saying, okay, here, I've expressed all my concerns, you guys take it and run with it. But it would not be the end of the world to have it, you know, the traffic in Macedonia is not gonna come to a screeching halt because there's a right out there. Just trying to look out for safety a little bit. There may or may not be true crashes there.
Well,
It's
well,
so dangerous,
the
it's safe,
engineer-
it's one of those situations.
He'll incorporate it into his report.
Okay.
Is there any more comments? Yeah, I know I'm gonna have you go. I believe there is somebody there, but did you have anything else that you wanted to?
There was a concern raised at the BZA meeting that I'd like to address. It was for this drive-through tenant, the volume of where the people would order. And I went and actually confirmed the volume of the speaker system for this, and it was very low. You could barely hear it 2 cars away. So that was addressed at the BZA. I think that's the only other thing I'd like to address. I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Where is the speaker system?
It's gonna be like right here, I think, right?
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
before they make that turn?
Right there.
All right. Really, a lot of drive-throughs, you're speaking into it, but you really can't hear when somebody's speaking back in there, because they just got the little mics,
Right,
so.
And that's what-
it's- Yeah,
that's what they had at another
Mhm.
facility.
they got the head mic, so
Right.
it's really not loud and overpowering, because they're talking into the mic, and then it translates out a different way. So it's not that loud, but, and then this is all right back in here, am I right there with me? Is this, I went back there, when we had the first
Mhm.
meeting. This is all, how much land is back here? And then here's the residential area.
There's a few 100 feet
Okay, so they're not gonna hear it. Right.
to the next property.
Right, 'cause
First
there's-
residential property.
There's a lot of green that's gonna
Right.
be in behind there, and then residential will be beyond that. Okay,
Correct.
okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. I wasn't sure how much you were taking,
Mhm.
you know,
We're just buying the current Sunoco.
okay, yeah, all right. They'll never hear that then, this right here. Okay, no, I know.
So you do have to come back with signage.
Yep.
And lighting, I think is, here, landscaping.
Landscaping.
I do like the look.
Yes, it's nice, and I believe there are some residents here that would like to speak. Would you like to come on up, or?
Sure.
Hi, sir.
Hi, my name is Terry Repack.
Hi, Terry.
Hi. I would like to respectfully disagree with you about the noise from the menu board or whatever it's called. We live at the south end of Harmon, at the intersection of Harmon and South Farm. We're probably the second closest property to this, and I know there's an empty lot in between us with about 140 or so feet of width, I believe. We can, at our property, and we live in a pretty noisy area because of the Route 8 and Route
Right.
82 traffic. It's a wonderful drag strip now that it's been repaved and nice and smooth. So we do get a lot of noise, but we can still, at our home, especially in the evening, we can still hear the telephone paging from Spitzer, which is quite a bit
Right.
away from us. And we can also hear the ordering food from the Taco Bell, which is in the other direction from us. And we are quite away from both of those.
Right, well,
My concern, my wife's concern is that this menu board appears to be pointed directly at our home. And if there is an easement for sightlines, then that means there probably is not going to be any future building on the office zone property between us. It'll be either an open parking lot or landscaped area or something like that, but it won't be a building. So we will have the benefit of being directly in line with the direction that the speakers are pointed. Now, I realize that the other people on the inside of the establishment are wearing headphones and all that, but the people outside who are ordering are not. They're parked in their cars, and the volume has to be loud enough for people to hear. I don't know who's going in there. I've heard rumors that it's a Starbucks, and I would like to verify that if I can, if you can make that verification for me. If it is something like that, I drove down to Twinsburg the other night after the BZA meeting that I was at, and I looked at their hours, and my wife went in to check them, and they are open from 5:30 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night. Now, the hours between I'm retired, my wife is retired. The hours between 5:30 and 8 o'clock, it's fairly quiet in our neighborhood. There isn't a whole lot of traffic. Yes, we get a little bit of rush hour traffic, but most of it is heading south. In the evening, from about 8 o'clock on, it quiets down quite a bit, except for the motorcycles and the drag racers, but, we're kind of used to that. But if we're going to have to deal with listening to people ordering whatever they're ordering over these things, I'm not sure. I've got my plans here for an addition to my house, another 400 square feet that I'm gonna put on. Unfortunately, your building department needs more than this to approve it, but it's all ready to go for next year. You know I can do that, don't you? I got another 400 square feet that I'm planning to putting on the back of my house, and I'm not sure that I wanna go to that expense. It's an enlargement of the kitchen, and that ends up being a fair amount of money. I would like to suggest that the ordering board be relocated so that it faces due west around the corner from what it is. Listening to Fire Chief speak just a few minutes ago, and knowing that the Macedonia Code requires a 6-car queuing area for any drive-through areas, I think those cars are also going to be blocking the fire lane, no matter where that board is located. But I would either like to see that board relocated around the corner, actually eliminated if possible, or the hours of its operation be restricted to 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock or so in the evening, and eliminate the very early morning and very late in the evening hours. And that's my request.
I don't think we're really allowed to really tell somebody what their hours of operation are. I mean, and it's, that Spitzer, I heard that. I've been over to Spitzer because I've been out there. And when you're out there, and I agree, that's a loud intercom, and I think that's sad that they're actually doing that
Yes.
for the residents, which, but again, you can't stop them from doing that, and that's the sad part.
I understand.
And then Taco Bell their drive-through sets way back, way back. This one will actually be closer and away from you, not like Taco Bell is. Taco Bell, you have to go way to the back of the building,
Well,
which,
it's at the back of their property. Taco Bell is at the back of their property, and I realize there's another piece of property in between, I don't know.
Right, yeah,
the
there's
depth
gonna
of
be
it,
a nice
100
piece of property, and it looks like
150,
it's gonna
160
be,
feet, something
it's
like
gonna
that.
be like kinda right there at the corner, but,
100.
you know,
190,
190, yeah.
almost 200
yeah.
feet.
So,
Right.
do you know what I mean?
But
I
we-
mean, I think that's sad that the intercom, they shouldn't be allowed to use that
Well,
intercom at certain times of the
But that's,
day.
but that's what happens when you
Right.
have them, you know, they do make noise, and I'm not saying this is gonna happen here, but there's a
Right.
potential for it, and, you know, we live with enough noise and distractions that we shouldn't have to, but because of the location we're at, you know, we have to deal with it. I just don't want an additional
I
noisemaker.
agree with you. Do you have anything to say?
Directed toward me.
Well,
Yes,
the hours of operation are rough because if people start work at 8 o'clock, they want their coffee at 7:45, they want their coffee at 6 o'clock,
I
depending on where
understand.
they're
I'm a-
driving.
I'm
That
a-
makes it.
I'm a dinosaur, I never use a drive-through, I always walk into the places, but I'm a dinosaur.
And I still take my carts
I
back
hate
inside.
my
I
cell
can't
phone,
yell
too.
when people don't take their carts back because they hit our cars.
Right, right.
So I'm with you.
But anyhow, those are my concerns, and I'm just asking for your,
Yeah, I just wonder if those
your
volumes
consideration of that.
can be turned down between certain hours as
Yeah.
far as, you know, what
To
they're
accommodate them.
broadcasting rather, you know, I mean, what you're saying is fine, but what they're broadcasting may be able to be toned down, I don't know. It can be looked into though.
I know where I lived prior to moving to Macedonia, there were ordinances that
No
for
noise.
noise
yeah.
ordinances during
Yeah.
certain hours.
Mhm.
And one of the city even stopped the state of Ohio from repairing the freeway that went through the city
Mhm.
during the late night and early morning hours because of the noise. So, I mean, you know, I don't know what Macedonia has as far as noise is concerned, but
That's
I think
the
they
only
have-
place, right?
For
He said
construction,
that
roadway
he
construction,
wants
there's
to
normally
come up a little, remember like
restricted
go
hours.
west. Remember what he's saying? That's about the only place you can put something like that though, right?
There will be no spillover of volume off of our site, and I can assure that.
I was just,
What was the actual question from BZA?
It was from him.
Oh, it was from you. Okay, that was that question.
I brought it up at BZA, not mistakenly brought it up at BZA, knowing, not realizing that it was just, the BZA thing was just for the variances.
For the setbacks,
For
yeah.
parking, right.
and then BZA gave you the recommendations, so that's okay then, all the recommendations from BZA.
Is it possible to get an answer from that tenant? On volume, on,
The volume will not leave our property.
well, I understand, but I mean,
So if you stand on the next property over, you will not hear the volume from the menu board. So it will be of no concern to any of the neighboring properties.
If it is, I'll be back.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
you can always duct tape it shut.
Terry,
For a
what we
while.
do, the only complaints that we have like this on record are from the residents on Sherwood behind Tractor Supply. And when their paging system, like the same as Spitzer, is too loud, we just have the police go ask them if they can turn it down, and it's no problem. Usually John comes
Right.
over and they turn it down, and residents are happy. I don't have anything on record of Taco Bell, Steak and Shake, Caribou had one, anything else down the line. But in that case, if we did have one.
so
we
what
just
about
send
like
police.
Caribou, for example, because theirs is kind of
They're
set back a
all
little bit,
butt
but
up to
the
residents.
residents in behind there was,
I've never heard anything, I don't know if police has anything on record, but when I do get stuff, we just ask the police to go out.
all right. Is that okay? You like that idea?
If I can't hear it, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
If I can't hear it, I'm fine.
If you can hear
You
it,
will not hear it.
I guess I won't know until.
You will not hear it, I promise.
Oh,
he might be like a word with
I'm
You
I'm
can
gonna
do whatever you want.
definitely go over to Spitzer though and have a talk with them though.
Reach out, touch it.
I think that's awful.
This is strange, because
Do they?
I love to hear the train whistle as
Right,
it goes through. And now that the bridge is built, I'm not gonna hear this train whistle anymore. So, you know, that I like, but this I don't, so.
once in a while.
I mean, where I live, I have the highway behind me and
Technology
I
already
hear the trains and I hear everything.
Yeah.
That, I don't like the intercom at Spitzer though, that's
Yeah,
really,
it's-
and plus, I do know, well, I know that Taco Bell's making some changes. Too bad you weren't around when they were making the changes, you should've
I've been
came
around-
to.
I've been around for
No, I
45
mean, you should've
years.
came to the meeting so that we could address that and make them change that at that time.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, that's what I didn't know it either till just now.
It's Kayla's fault.
But,
It's always Kayla's fault, don't worry.
but seriously, that would have been something to address at that time, I believe. But, thank you.
Okay, thank
Is
you.
there anything else? Thank you.
That's it.
I appreciate it. Huh? What's that?
Promise.
I'm not promising,
No,
I'm going to
you didn't.
Spitzer. That, I would hate that too. I never thought about the residents to allow intercom there, but I'm gonna say something to them. Thanks for bringing that up to me.
We live here inside the kitchen.
I believe it. I've been out there and I had to get a rent-a-car and, I heard it a lot. All right, is there any more concerns?
Question, do you know how your driveway on Fair Lane, right, lines up with the Winking Lizard, how it relates to that?
I believe it directly across the street, but they'll study the traffic study.
No, it's different.
Is it different?
Behind, it's between the two driveways,
From what we heard at the BZA.
from the drawing from the BZA.
To be honest, I think it might be better off having them offset, not from a traffic
Right.
standpoint, but I can see a lot of people leaving here, buzzing through Winking Lizard's parking lot and coming out the light.
Yep.
Now, it's gonna be less convenient now that it's one way,
It's
you know,
gonna
and you
be
can
a
only go
nightmare.
across the front
Yes.
in the one direction, so you're gonna have to pull in there, go around, come out to the light. That seems pretty inconvenient to me. Hopefully that will deter it.
There's cross-traffic now.
Yeah, but then they line up pretty good right now, and the driveway over on that side for the gas station now is kind of just a wide open, nothing. I'd almost prefer to have them not lined up if possible. I mean, from a traffic standpoint, that's not really what you would want to do, but to try and deter people from just going straight across, I prefer
Well,
to see
and
that.
there's two driveways that we can.
Right, yeah, so not lined up necessarily for either
Yeah,
one, if
they're
that
gonna
can, if
If
that can
they're
get worked out.
Converge.
If they're lined up, for example, right out here, the city center and the parking lot, shopping center across, when sometimes there's cars crossing because it's a straight shot.
Yeah.
And it's kind of disconcerting because there's no stop sign or light or anything for either direction. And you know, I can maybe shake it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, with the traffic, with the amount of traffic that's on Fairlane, I'm not so worried about that being confusion there. I hate to see a lot of cut through traffic. You know, people just take your right out and go. Hopefully that's what will happen.
We ought to have her read it. Dennis, wait.
Delivery trucks, whatever.
He said something, I didn't get that. On the peak, no, he said the green.
Oh,
the
you
brick-
wanted
Columns.
the brick columns
Brick columns, that's what it
under
was.
the two,
Recall intercom.
yep, to Maxio.
I knew there was something I was forgetting. I can't forget Dennis's comments. Sorry, Dennis. I think we're gonna make Kayla read them all, though. There's too much stuff we went over. And then we have somebody else that like to.
I'm Eleanor Bannerton, I'm from TKB, one of the owners of the property that Winking Lizard is on.
Oh, okay.
And that is our concern, is where these driveways are on the fairway, that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna get it and we don't need it.
All right. Well, it's nice meeting you. I think he just addressed your concerns.
I think I just stood up to say,
Yeah.
I
Yes.
agree.
And,
Yeah,
I haven't seen the plans or anything, I have no
These are the
idea.
plans,
what
and
the
then-
driveways are.
yeah, it doesn't show listings, but can you show her where
Yeah, it
where you
doesn't
come
show
out right there, and then Winking Lizard would be on this side.
Okay.
So what he's
Now,
saying
is there gonna be a light down here or anything?
No.
No.
What's gonna happen to the left track? It's gonna go right across and out our, because on the other side there's a traffic light that they can go that.
Unless people are gonna ignore the one way that's going across the front of your building now, hopefully people are respecting that and doing the right thing, because it is not wide enough
Yeah.
to fit two cars through there anymore. With it being so circuitous to get out of there, I'm hoping that will cut down on cars actually cutting through there. I mean, it really should be a deterrent, because that's not an easy, I mean, you're adding another minute to do that, is that quicker than just pulling out and trying to get out onto 82? Depending on the time of day, that mill may be quicker, so hopefully people don't do that.
Right.
I hope, because we have about all the traffic we can handle
Yeah,
over there right now.
Right.
and even if they move the driveway closer to 82, if people think that that's gonna be a quicker thing, it's gonna happen. You know, but hopefully, maybe they try it once and they see, oh, that was a pain. You got, oh, someone's pulling out, oh, now, you gotta, all the way around there, hopefully they don't do it too.
My objections noted, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you for coming this time. Thank you. You have anything else? No? He's, that's one. Are you okay now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I have no other, I think I addressed everything then. With that, so we're gonna, I believe we're gonna have, you're gonna come back, right, but anyways, we're gonna, I'll make a recommendation that we approve the final site plans with the changes that we mentioned here today, and I believe we're gonna let Kayla read them all. You got them all, cause we have to sign that, right?
One more.
Before you do that, can you add to that, city engineer acceptance of the final traffic study? Is that okay, Rita?
Yeah, oh, yeah. The TMS Engineering Inc., Transportation Management Services. I think, hopefully, when Kayla reads them off, I wrote down my notes, so let's see what I've added.
Check them all.
All right, ready?
Yep,
14-foot minimum drive aisle in the rear.
right,
Route 82 entrance west of hydrant if possible. Less ephes, more brick on inner columns.
Mhm.
Fencing to match Winking Lizard. City engineer acceptance of final traffic study. And signage, lighting, landscaping at a later date.
I have stormwater changes, and then also the fire hydrant changes.
She mentioned that.
That's what she mentioned.
Okay, so that's,
West of it.
okay, gotcha. And then he's gonna be back for, for the landscaping.
And sign
And the
package.
signage. And make a motion to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You got all that, Lance, and plus Kayla will give you a copy.
All right, I hope so.
Oh, yeah.
She will. That was a lot. Lance, thanks for coming.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you for everything. Thanks, everybody, for your comments. But I know I'm gonna go talk to Spitzer. All right, first time I hear it, somebody didn't go. I know.
Oh, I never heard a promise, I've got names of witnesses here.
It's on tape. Guess what I just did? I just picked up the mayor's stuff.
They moved that in
He doesn't need it.
east.
Oh, God, where do we sign it at? Oh,
They may have to put one inside somewhere.
Why is that?
They have access to it.
okay,
Fence.
did we,
You get the hose
Right.
through the fence.
where's it, my notes now?
That's why it was.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Second, no. It's 5-inch hose.
No,
Full of water. I filled one
It's,
up.
what is it? I can't even see the.
I'll let you pick it up 2 inches off the ground.
6:30 something?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, this is my copy. I took the mayor's stuff, Dale, on accident.
That's all right. I can
Not
make
by-
copies of
not
it.
by
Other
choice.
people-
I found out today somebody
This
else.
says mayor, thank God.
You can hardly see the signatures.
I don't know what I did. You, if the mayor needs something, he'll get them from you.
That Austin Shapiro goes, oh, yeah, it's somebody else. You know, there's still some confusion over the situation, ownership of Bedford Anderson. They